A lot of businesses make a common mistake. They develop solutions that don't match a specific market problem. This leads to prospects and clients that are not really interested. For example, one client says that this product looks interesting, but it's not a top priority right now. Another prospect might say that they don't have enough time to train their team. And the last prospect will ask so many questions that show that he is not interested. Those signs show that the problem that the product is trying to solve is not painful enough. And this is a very common mistake in B2B businesses. And that's why in this video, I'm going to explain how to spot a specific and painful market problem in order to create a solution and to market this solution effectively. In this video, I will help you to know if you are solving the right market problem right now. I will also show you the signs that prove that you are not aligned with a market problem. I will give you the 3 most common root problems that explain why your prospects are not interested. And last but not least, I will give you my strategic process in order to find and address a specific market problem. And when I say problems, it can also be something else, which is the motivations of your target audience. They have a motivation to solve a problem. This is good as well. Let's jump right now into the signs that prove that your product is not solving a specific problem or a problem that is not painful enough. As explained in the introduction, there are 3 types of clients that you might have. Client A will say, it's interesting, but we don't need it now. Client B will say, we don't have time to train our team for this product. And client C will say, our current solution is doing fine. You see here, it's never a big and strong no. It's always a soft no, or they're always trying to delay the project. Those signs prove that your product is not solving a market problem that is strong enough. So now I will tell you what is a good market problem to solve. A good problem is a pure problem. Pure means painful, urgent, and recognized. Painful means that the problem you are solving is causing problems to the organization, whether it's about money, time, or maybe even headaches or stress. This is painful because it has a direct impact on the core of the company. Let's talk about money, for example. The goal of a company is to generate return on investment for the founders and for the investors. So if there is a problem linked to money, we can state that it's painful because it's attacking the core of the company. About time, it's related because they pay employees. So if they feel that they are wasting time, they are also wasting a part of the money that they are sending to their team. If, let's say, they have a process that takes 10 hours, but that could take 5 hours, there is a shortfall and there are 5 hours that could be saved. So here, this is why it's a painful problem, because it has a direct impact on the core of the business. The second one is urgent. So some problems are not urgent, meaning that they can be solved next year or even the year after, and especially because there are other problems that are more urgent. So what you should try to do is to target problems that are painful but also urgent, meaning that if they are wasting time or wasting money, you need to help them to solve their problem quick, and for that it needs to be urgent. So an urgent problem would be that they are using an old process and they are wasting a lot of time, but they have a big event coming, so they really need to update their processes in order to save time and save money. This is an urgent problem. And the last one is recognized. It means that they are aware that they have a problem, because if the problem is hidden, if they don't really know they have this problem, it will be harder for you to actually convince them to work with you. Why? Because you will have to do a lot of education, a lot of question and answers, you will have to answer a lot of objections, and you will be in a posture where you always have to convince. But if they know they have this problem, it's really conscious, it will actually be easier to have a conversation because you are talking with someone that knows they have a problem. So here you have a good overview of what is a pure problem: painful, urgent, recognized. Your goal is to find, pinpoint, and address a market problem that has those three specific aspects. If you cannot find this type of problem, this might be because you are experiencing one, two, or even three of the most common problems when it comes to finding the right market problem. The first problem is not listening to customers and prospects. When a company skips these steps, meaning that they don't talk enough with their customers or prospect or target audience, they are missing the most important elements because it's so obvious that you need to listen to the people who are supposed to give you money. And if you skip this step, this might lead to creating a product that is not useful for your customer and that doesn't really solve a market problem. You will actually miss the real problem if you are not talking with your customers. The second problem is following weak market trends. I've seen that a lot. There is a new trend on the market and people launch a company to follow this trend, but they don't really assess profitability and repeatability. And after 6 months, the trend is gone. And so they don't have a viable business because they are not solving a problem that is deep enough. It's just at the surface level. The third problem is the most common from what I've seen. It's when you are thinking about the solution first. So you're trying to build a product or a service first before actually spotting and analyzing a problem. So what happens is that you're trying to start from the solution and then reverse engineer to actually find a problem to fit your solution. This is really bad because you are actually doing it backwards. It should be the opposite. This often leads to solutions looking for problems instead of the other way around. So if you think you have one of those three problems or maybe more, this will explain why you are not actually solving a problem that is specific and painful enough. Or maybe you are not solving a problem at all. Okay, so you understand the signs that show that you are not solving a problem strong enough. You understand what type of problem you should find instead. And third, you understand the root causes that explain why you are not solving a market problem. Now I will give you a better solution in order to identify, research, analyze, and address a pure market problem. So what you should do instead is to pull your solution from the market. And you should do that at every stage of your company. When you are at the ideation phase, you should ask questions to the market. When you are at the discovery phase, you should brainstorm with your audience. When you are at the development stage, you should actually show the features and show the product to your audience. And at the launch phase, you should actually have a feedback loop directly with your audience. The fastest startups have a fast feedback loop, meaning that they create a feature based on feedback. They develop it, then they show it to their market, to their audience. The audience give them feedback again, and so they improve the feature or create a new one. And this is an infinite loop. And the fastest the loop, the fastest the growth will be. So your goal, if you have a B2B company, is to actually have a very fast feedback loop, like I just explained. So in other words, you need to shift your focus from trying to build a product to trying to identify a problem and give a solution to this problem. This is really the core principle of marketing. I will give you now my strategic process to align your product with a market problem. The very first thing is interviews with a specific technique that is called the why technique. You have a surface level problem that you have identified. You will go on an interview and ask questions why every time they give an explanation. This will help you to actually get to the core of the problem by always asking why. You will go from surface to intermediary to real problems. The second one is that you need to find a pure problem, painful, urgent, recognized. And the third part is that you should develop a before-after bridge messaging. So before is the current situation that they have. Let's say they are using an old school process. You should explain this current situation. Then after, you should explain what happens after they solve this problem. So it's a dream outcome. And then the last B of BAB is bridge, meaning that you actually explain how you take them from the B to A, from the problem to the dream outcome. This is the BAB messaging framework. This is a framework that I explain carefully and in details in my online course that is about content strategy. You can have a look in the comments if you are interested. Now, here is a last note. If your product is already out there, but you get too many feedback from your customers and prospects that say, I don't need it right now, it's not a priority, or it's too hard to implement, moment, it might be time to pivot your product and your messaging a bit. You have different directions to do that. If your messaging and your product category is too big, maybe you should niche down to address a more specific market. So let's say you are targeting marketers, you want to reduce the scope and address a specific part of marketers, let's say performance marketers. So it will help you to have a solid base of core users that are very specific, and then to install a growth flywheel to get other customers. Another pivot possible is to actually redo the whole process and to adapt your solution to a market problem that is more painful in the market. And the third one is the most painful for you, is to actually go back to zero, delete the solution, maybe keep only the code, and start from scratch with a new solution to a more painful market problem. So this is the end of the video. As you understood, solving the right market problem is crucial because it's the only way to have prospects that actually want to buy from you and that you don't always have to convince with education, answering objections, sending a lot of details and waiting for ages. By really listening to your audience, identifying their problem and showing how your solution is the best fit to solve this problem, you will be able to position your brand as the best choice for them. So in everything you do, you should move from a solution first to a problem first approach. Every time you do something, it should be linked to your target market. All right, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it. You can also ask questions in the comment and subscribe to the channel to get the next one, which will be also about marketing strategy in B2B. If you want to go further, you can download a free guide that will explain the current state of B2B marketing playbook. So you will be able to learn the 4 top tactics that you should implement in B2B marketing right now. Thank you for watching.